Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
Can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question.
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. I hope you'll join us this Sunday on our Operation Freedom radio show. You can stream it live. It's free at davejanda.com. Just go to the middle of the homepage toward the top. Hit the Listen Live button. We're there for you 2 to 5 Eastern. Great guests, great analysis. We're going to focus on the IG report as well as this impeachment goat rodeo hoax. In particular about the IG report, I've delved on this issue for a number of months. But in particular, about 2 weeks ago, I put a summary statement of where I thought we were going to go on this YouTube channel. That actually hit the bullseye. I encourage you to go back and look at that. And then this past Tuesday, I put a informational piece up about my analysis of the IG report since it came out. Now, since then, Inspector General Horowitz testified in front of the Senate on Wednesday. Again, reaffirmed what we had put forward in that analysis this past Tuesday. I encourage you to watch that analysis because I believe that it has stood the test of time as far as what was in the report and the significance of what was in that report. It comes down to this, folks. Which is worse? To have a foreign government meddle in one of our elections, or is it worse to have our own government, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the CIA, meddle in one of our elections? They're both bad. Both should not happen. But I can tell you, based on the IG report, our own government meddled in the 2016 election. Period. And that is horrible. And this is why what I said that in that analysis, that in my 31 years of reviewing reports, legislation, programs, I've never seen anything more disturbing, more angering, more sickening is that IG report. I want to take you something that was published in Zero Hedge. It goes back to this meddling issue. Pfizer report reveals Clinton meddled in the 2016 election. The bought-off lamestream fake media will never tell you this. If Russia spending $100,000 on Facebook ads constitutes election interference, and Donald Trump asking Ukraine to investigate the Bidens is election interference, then Hillary Clinton takes the cake when it comes to influence campaigns designed to harm a political opponent and influence an election. Contained within this past Monday's FISA report by the Department of Justice Inspector General Horowitz is the revelation that Fusion GPS, the firm paid for by the Clinton campaign to produce the Steele dossier, quote, was paying Steele to discuss his reporting with the media, end quote. That was on page 369. We talked about that. But frankly, folks, I've been talking about this on this platform, YouTube, for many months, to our subscribers for almost 2 years about that fact. Zero Hedge goes on, and when did Steele talk with the media, which got him fired as an FBI source? September of 2016, roughly 6 weeks prior to the election. One of the more damaging articles to result from those meetings was authored by Yahoo News journalist Michael Isikoff, who was a whore of the deep state. And maybe that's not being fair to whores. Who said in an interview that he was invited by Fusion GPS to meet a secret source at a Washington restaurant. And who was that secret source, folks? Yeah, Christopher Steele, who fed Isikoff information for a September 23rd, 2016 article which would have far greater reach and impact coming from such a widely read media outlet, Yahoo News, versus the $100,000 in Russian-bought Facebook ads. Isikoff's article claimed that former Russian campaign aide Carter Page, quote, has opened up private communications with senior Russian officials, including talks about the possibility of lifting sanctions if the Republican nominee became president, end quote. This allegation, folks, was proven to be false by none other than, Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller. False. Put another way, Hillary Clinton paid Christopher Steele to feed information to the mainstream media in order to harm Donald Trump right before the 2016 election. Whatever the case, the act of Simpson from Fusion GPS, who was paid by the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign, the act of Simpson then paying Steele to peddle fiction to the media for the purpose of harming Trump by itself constitutes blatant, underline blatant, election meddling by every standard set by the globalists over the past 3 years. And I'm sure Hillary she can explain that, right? Let me summarize the entire IG report for you, real quick. And what happened. It's illegal for you and me to spy on the FBI, but it's legal. It's illegal for you and me to lie to the FBI. It's illegal for you and me to lie to the FBI. But it's legal for the FBI to lie to you and me. It's illegal for you and me to lie to a court. But it's legal for the FBI to lie to a court. It's also legal for the FBI to lie about you to the court in order to renew warrants to spy on you. It's illegal for you or me to surveil or spy on the FBI, CIA, NSA, or any other government agency or entity. But it's legal for the FBI, CIA, NSA, or any other government entity to illegally surveil or spy on you and me. It's illegal for you and me to meddle with an election. But it's legal for the FBI, the Department of Justice, or any other government entity that actually has been bought and paid for by a globalist such as the Clintons. It's legal for them to meddle in election. As I mentioned in my analysis, Horowitz and his team filled the chambers of that weapon. Every single one of them. Didn't leave one empty. They took the safety off. They put their finger on the trigger. And then they handed it to Durham and Barr. It comes down to Durham and Barr. In fact, during Horowitz's testimony on Wednesday, December 11th, he was asked about that. Question I asked in my analysis this past Tuesday about why he failed to recommend for prosecution any and all of these bad actors who were involved in this illegality in the FBI and the Department of Justice, which was only his purview. His answer is, well, I can't prosecute. That's why we turned it over to AG Barr. But that was a cop-out. See, he can't prosecute. He's right. But he sure as heck should have recommended for prosecution. Every member of that Crossfire Hurricane team, starting with Comey and McCabe and Strzok and Page and Baker and Kleinsmith and Priestep, every single one of them. But he didn't. He and his team did our country a service by the research they did. The monumental information they presented was devastating to the FBI, to the Department of Justice, and frankly, how they destroyed the rule of law. But where he did a disservice was not recommending for prosecution any and all of those people I just mentioned. It all comes down to Durham and Barr. It's that simple. The weapon's been loaded. The safety's been released. They need to pick it up. They need to put their finger on the trigger. And they need to pull it. Because if they don't, our country's done. Period. I hope you'll join us this Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. Go to davejanda.com. I also hope you become a member of our Freedom family. Become a subscriber to our premium service content. I did in a much more in-depth analysis of the IG report on our WTF show this past week. Great guests, great analysis, information that you'll never get from the bought-off lamestream fake media. By becoming a premium service subscriber, you support this YouTube channel, the radio show, and the platform so that we can continue our efforts. We spend many thousands of dollars every month securing that platform. Studio time, production time, engineering time for the radio show. We can't do it without the subscribers, period. If you'd like this channel to continue, if you want the radio show to continue, if you want the website to continue that's there for you, we have a public site as well, then hopefully you'll become a subscriber. I thank you for your time. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail.